Welcome, Canada, to Hamilton's Copps Coliseum. Elvis Stojko, 1 month before the Winter Olympic Games, his last trip to a national championship. And will he be the king again? Elvis on ice tonight. We welcome you inside Copps Coliseum for the 2002 Bank of Montreal Canadian Championships. The men's short program, the pairs short program on the agenda tonight. I'm Rod Black along with Tracy Wilson, Debbie Wilkes, and Dave Randorf. And on the ice is Jeffrey Buttle from Sudbury, Ontario. Trains in Barrie at the Mariposa Club. Big season for Jeff Buttle this year.
Jeff finished 9th at the Canadian Championships last year, but this year has had his best season ever, finishing 2nd at the NHK Trophy, which is on the Grand Prix circuit. He's skating to the Last Emperor. Opening with his combination, triple flip, triple toe. What a great start. Now, the main reason for his success in Japan at the NHK Trophy was he landed his triple axel in the competition. First time ever for him in competition. It's coming up now. Lovely clean landing on that jump. On his combination spin. He's a musical skater who chooses his own music to skate to. This program was choreographed by David Wilson.
This week in Hamilton is also about finding out who is the next Elvis. And Jeff Buttle has put his name on the list. Elvis to come and all the men. Welcome to the 2002 Nationals, everybody.
Tonight, at the Copps Coliseum in Hamilton, a champion Canada has grown up with prepares for the final chapter of his skating history book. For over a decade, Elvis Stojko has captured the hearts of skating fans around the world. So many memorable moments on the ice. Also tonight, Canada's sweethearts continue their journey that leads to Salt Lake City. Jamie Salé and David Pelche, undefeated this season. This their final stop before the Winter Olympic Games. It's the pairs competition, and it's next on TSN. Hi, everybody. Welcome to Copps Coliseum. I'm Dave Randorf. The Canadians. Always a very special event on the figure skating calendar, but 2002 holds special significance. for you, the fans across the country. And for one 29-year-old from Richmond Hill, Ontario, this is it, folks. The last time Elvis Stojko will compete at the Nationals, an event that he has owned for close to 10 years. And during that time, Elvis has set the standard for class both on and off the ice, not only in this country, but around the world. Elvis Stojko's quest for a 7th Canadian title kicks into high gear tonight with the men's short program. 2002 is also, of course, an Olympic year, and there are tickets to Salt Lake City that will be awarded this week in Hamilton, and that fact is lost on nobody backstage. Team Canada will include 2 men, 1 woman, 3 pairs teams, and 2 dance squads. Now, give one of the pairs spots to Jamie Salé and David Pelche. Shaylin Board and Victor Kratz will take one of the dance entries, but the rest will be hotly contested. Can't wait. Glad you're with us. Here again is Rod and Tracy.
Yeah, thank you, Dave. And give one of the spots, of course, to Elvis Stojko for Salt Lake City. The battle on for that other spot. Jeffrey Buttle will not be going to the Olympics. His Olympic days, he hopes, will be ahead of him. 19-year-old, required elements marks, presentation marks. Begins the night in 9th place. They have had qualification already here earlier this week.
5-6, 5-5, 5-5.
And he's pretty happy with himself. We'll be watching Jeff Buttle. We'll be watching all of the young skaters from around our great country. Team Coates, Team Quebec are in the house. Team Alberta, Saskatchewan, Manitoba, Ontario. And we're glad you're with us at the 2002 Nationals. Opening night of our coverage at the Nationals, but they have been at work. The skaters have already this week with qualifying. Elvis Stojko winning qualifying Group A. Fedor Andreev second. Emmanuel Sandhu, disappointing skate for him, in 3rd place. The qualifying Group B, Nicholas Young, Jason Daname, and Matthew Bueno, 1, 2, and 3. And heading into tonight's short program, we're 30% of the total mark. We should see some shuffling heading into Saturday's free skate. Ben Ferreira technically is tied for 7th. He has been 3rd in Canada the last 2 years.
His music, Who's That Creepin' by Big Bad Voodoo Daddy. And Ben will be the first competitor who has a quad plan in this short program. And it's coming up now. Quad toe, double toe. Didn't get the rotation.
Has never landed it in competition. Told me earlier today he needs it. That's why he's throwing it in.
It's tough. You almost have to take a step down when you start trying to quad in competition. It affects the rest of your performance, and it's very costly. That was a 0.4 deduction. Now is triple axel, and again down. As you said, Rod, it's a risky move putting a quad in a competition like this in a short program. But I've seen Ben land some really nice ones in practice, and if he's to progress and to have success on the world scene, he has to get that quad in competition. Final jump out of footwork. It's his triple up. There. Mistake coming in the footwork sequence, so another deduction.
Just not his night tonight, Ben Ferreira. And will be disappointed with that performance because now he really has to play catch up in the free skate. Edmonton's Ben Ferreira at the Nationals. Let's go backstage now. Once again, here's Dave Randorf.
With Jeffrey Buttle, a guy who is coming off a second-place finish in your very first Grand Prix event at the NHK. Tell us about that and what it did for your confidence.
Well, on our way there, we tried to make sure that it didn't seem like a very important competition, even though it was. And we took it step by step, and they really have a way of making you feel comfortable in Japan, and I just skated like the best so far. So, I mean, again, that's a whole lot of confidence coming into the Canadian Championships, and we tried to do the same thing as we did in Japan.
Absolutely. So you bring that confidence with you. What are your goals here in Hamilton this year?
Basically to maintain the curve of improvement, I would say. Level of comfort has been a big problem for me in the past, and I think this year I'm really starting to overcome that.
Well, good luck on Saturday night, Jeffrey.
Thank you.
And Ben Ferreira with Coach Jan Olmark.
One of the problems with trying a quad in the short program, not only do you risk a 0.4 deduction when you miss it, but it tends to throw you off for the rest of your performance, which is what happened to Ben here. You could see when his foot came down, he hadn't completed the rotations, had no chance on the landing, couldn't get himself back into the rhythm until the very end of the program, and by then it was too late.
Thank you, Pat. Thank you.
Recently engaged.
Alberta.
Ben
Sorry
Ferreira.
about that, I gotta try.
Hey, you know what? I like his attitude. He told me backstage, he said, you know, I probably have a chance to get to the Winter Olympics without the quadruple jump here. And not many skaters have the quad in Canada. But he said, this is a sport, and I'm going to try it.
That's right. He could have played it safe with his triple axel. We've seen him skate consistently well in the past when he did not have a quad in the program. But if he is to move ahead as a competitor, he has to have the quad for his future.
And the barometer, too, though. If you don't get the quad, you have to hit the triple axel. And if you miss it, then you get marks like this.
4-6.
And it's been a while since Ben got marks like that.
0.9 deductions for the stumble on the footwork, for the two misses in the jumps.
5-5, 5-6.
Presentation marks much better. Ben Ferreira currently second behind Jeff Buttle. Time to recoup and regroup for Saturday night. And still ahead, the end of the era, the Elvis era at the Nationals. Elvis Stojko still to come.
I'd like to ask our final group of skaters to please take the ice for warm-up. Représentant de Québec, Nicholas Young. Representing Eastern Ontario, Fedor Andreev. Representing British Columbia, Emmanuel Sandhu. Representing Central Ontario, Elvis Stojko. Representant le Québec,
Elvis Stojko's last Nationals. We had an indication last year what the future will be like without Elvis when he did not skate in Winnipeg at the National Championships away because of injury. Emmanuel Sandhu was the champion a year ago. Tracy, I know this is probably inwardly going to be an emotional week for Elvis Stojko, but he's not treating this like some sort of sappy farewell, is he?
Oh, he's not. He's looking anything but that. He's looking so focused and fit. He said at the beginning of the season he was building to Salt Lake, and he's been true to his word. Each time out this year, he's looked better and better. In the qualifying round, he fell on his quad, but everything else was just right on. He did a triple axel in combination with a triple toe. He looked fit and very light and trim, and I haven't seen him looking this good in years. And it's interesting, at the beginning of the season, he had a lot of doubters. And now he's got a lot of people believing he just might do this.
He just peeked up over at us a little while ago, and I said, how do you feel? He said, I think I'm going to jump right out of my skates tonight. He really feels pumped up. On the other hand, he's a guy who can control the adrenaline, control the energy. On the other side of that, you have the defending champion who has had a tough time over the years fighting butterflies, fighting the nerves, and battling consistency.
Well, imagine now coming into the Canadian Championships as a defending champion and being hunted by a healthy Elvis Stojko. Boy, if you've had trouble dealing with pressure in the past, it's not going to get any better, and it hasn't so far for Emmanuel in this competition. He did fight back in the qualifying round. He would miss a jump like this, the single axel, and then look, steps right into a triple axel. So we did see some fight for Emmanuel, but he's going to have to pull it all together
So Emmanuel Sandhu to skate, and of course Elvis Stojko. Canadians have fallen in love with this man over the years. Last hurrah at the Nationals on TSN. The tabulation in this building, and over the years, the era of Elvis Stojko, there is no doubt he has been the people's choice. The leader,
Skaters,
qualification. Will he be the leader after the short program? Here's our final group tonight.
I'm Fedor Andreev, representing the Minto Skating Club of the Eastern Ontario section. And I'm going to be skating to Rachmaninoff's Piano Concerto No. 1 for my short program.
I'm Nicholas Young. I'm representing the Quebec section from St. Hubert, and tonight I'm skating to Carmen for my short program.
I'm Emmanuel Sandhu, and I represent the Vancouver Skating Club of the British Columbia section. For my short program, I'll be skating to Bongo Song, Played Alive, and Crazy Benny by Sappy Duo.
I'm Matthew Bueno. I'm from the Eastern Ontario section, and I represent the Minto Skating Club. I'll be skating to Schumann's Passionata for my short program.
I'm Jason Diname. I represent Sherbrooke Figure Skating Club in Quebec, and I'll be skating to Fever by Take a Leap.
I'm Elvis Stojko. I represent the Richmond Hill Figure Skating Club, and I'm skating to Lion by Coda.
A program that has been resurrected for the Olympic season for Elvis Stojko. And the crowd here in Copps Coliseum this week, here to watch Elvis, but also to see the future stars. Canadian men's skating, don't forget the pairs short program later. Jamie Salé, David Pelche on the road to Salt Lake City too. And first up is a former Canadian junior champion 2 years ago. Here is Nicholas Young.
Nicholas finished first in his qualifying group. He was in the easier flight in Group B. He will skate to Carmen. Last year at the Canadian Championships, he was 7th. Represented Canada at the Junior World Championships and finished 10th. Taking some time here to make sure he feels comfortable, getting his focus. Like Jeffrey Buttle, he is working on his triple axel and getting it confident in competition. It's coming up here as his first element. He has never landed this jump cleanly in competition. Triple combination planned here, triple flip, good height, triple toe. Criticized in the past for his lack of artistry. He spent almost 3 months last year just working on the skating in between his jumps. It has paid off. Skating with a lot of fire. He grabs your attention. Oh, hanging on to the triple Lutz. Wasn't going to let that one get away from him.
Nicholas Young. He has come here to deliver, and did. Fedor Andreev. There's Nicholas Young, and we are back from commercial now.
Hi, Rod.
There you are. With Jean-Francois Hébert, who finished third at the Nationals in 1999, and Coach Jose Picard.
And looking very pleased with his performance. Here is his attempt at his triple axel, and you can see he didn't quite get the rotation. And the reason he was pleased was because of how far that jump has come. Last year, you referred to it as an old rust bucket of a jump. And this year, his technique is getting better. It's getting stronger, and he's really months away from landing that jump.
It's interesting to see what happens to junior champions in Canada. 2 years after Elvis Stojko won a junior championship, he made his mark at the Nationals, finishing second. And skaters from the junior ranks, you win the title, you will see many of them, their names, winning medals down the road. And don't be surprised to see his name, Nicholas Young, do the same. Speaking of junior champions, the year before Nicholas Young was the top junior in Canada, Fedor Andreev was.
His motto at this competition has been, "Don't count me out." He was on fire in the qualifying round, landed a beautiful triple axel. He skated with a lot of expression, as he always does. Here, skating to Rachmaninoff. He will open with his combination. Triple Lutz, triple toe. I like the entry into that jump. He did footwork right into it. Now the triple axel.
I don't know if there are too many skaters who have come out of the junior ranks with so many expectations, like Fedor did a couple of years ago, Tracy. And he's kind of been the forgotten phenom. He really hasn't been able to rise to it.
He struggled with trying to get the jumps. In particular, that triple axel. He's moved to the States, is training in Hackensack. Berezhnaya and Sikerlidze, the Russian pair team, also with Sarah Hughes, and that, he says, has helped him a lot. Nice triple flip. Oh, unfortunate on the entrance into a spin, but he had the sense to get back into the spin.
Couple of unfortunate miscues for Fedor Andreev. A head shaker here tonight. Up next, Emmanuel Sandhu, and then Elvis Stojko. At the National, tied for third before tonight after qualification. Fedor Andreev, how will the judges mark this?
Well, he got off to a nice start with his combination, and it was a triple combination. A slight under rotation on that landing, but what is going to be interesting to see is how the judges dock him on that, the mistake going into the spin. because you can't add an element in a short program or you'll get deducted 0.4. If they think he wasn't in the spin, he will just get a deduction for the fall. If they think he was in the spin and then added another one, it's a bigger deduction. So they are giving him credit here. They're not deducting him twice, except
for the first judge.
Judge number 1 and judge number 3. You can see they took a huge deduction.
Presentation marks very good, loaded with potential. Fedor Andreev, Russian-born, training in the United States, representing Canada in the ordinals from first so far all the way to fourth. Currently in second behind Jeff Buttle. Then Ferreira falls to third. And now the big question mark again. Emmanuel Sandhu, what can we expect from him tonight? One thing about Emmanuel, when we have seen him crash and burn in some programs, he usually has followed it up with a terrific skate. Sometimes when the pressure is off and maybe people aren't expecting so much.
He has looked shaky all week in practice. His warm-up for this, the best I've seen him skate since he's been here. He's in a good position. He's midway in the flight. He hasn't had to rush his warm-up or hasn't had to wait to the end, and he's skating before Elvis. This is Crazy Benny. First element, quad in combination. Slight turnout, but hey, he'll take it after the way he's been skating.
Can he follow it up with the axle, though?
Here it comes, triple axle. Yes, he can. If you remember last year at the Canadian Championships, he got through his 2 most difficult elements, as he did here, then fell on the footwork and his double axle. So he still has the focus. Here's his triple lutz. What a position on his camel spin. Great line, arch through his back. Brilliant choreography in this program. He uses the ice all levels.
Under the heading, now that's more like it. Well, with Emmanuel, you expect the unexpected. There is not a skater in the world with more musicality than Emmanuel Sandhu. That's Sean tonight, and he landed his jumps. And guess who's next? We'll be back to Hamilton in a moment. His first national championship back in 1986. He was third as a novice, won the junior title in 1988. 6-time Canadian champion. There is the defending champion, Emmanuel Sandhu. He had this stuff tonight, didn't he?
Yes, he did. Opening here with his quad. Good height, as he always does on this jump, and it was a little shaky on the landing, and that turnout will be a 0.1 deduction, but he was able to do a double. Normally he would do a triple on the end of that jump. This a very difficult jump for Emmanuel, the triple axel, but there, fights for that landing. And where he excels and where this program excels is the way he uses the music. He uses all of the ice, the footwork, creative, sophisticated.
4 years ago was denied a spot to the Winter Olympics in Nagano. Really, by a lot of bureaucracy at the time, a lot of people felt, and it set him back. He would be the first to tell you. Look at the required elements marks, but if he skates like this, he will go back to living his dream and go to the Olympic Games. And then maybe if he skates like this, we remember only 2 programs at the Winter Olympics, he's a definite contender. Just you wonder if he can put it all together, both physically and mentally. Tonight, he had it all. Leader, Emmanuel Sandhu.
Our next competitor, representing Central Ontario, Elvis Stojko.
This has been a great building for Elvis Stojko. Remember the history made at the Grand Prix final in '97, national championships that have been held here, and he has provided so many memories. And now a month away from another trip to the Winter Olympics.
Here it comes, quad triple. Like Emmanuel, he'll have a deduction for the mistake between the jumps. He needs to skate clean from here on in, triple axel. That was huge. Triple Lutz. Music, of course, Lion by Kodo. This is where he flies.
I think he's faster than ever.
I agree. Lighter on his feet, no wasted movement, and great intensity throughout his performance. He doesn't let it drop.
What's the old saying for Elvis Stojko? Don't count him out.
If anyone can do it, Rod, as we've said over and over again as well, Elvis Stojko can. And what a pleasure to watch him stay the course.
Yeah, it's been a lot of fun over the years watching him grow as a skater, as a man. Great ambassador. And still got it. Still got it. The quad was trouble again, but the landings on the axle and the Lutz are as soft as we have seen in some time. And a year ago, maybe even early in the season, I think there was some trepidation in even Elvis's mind about his landings, about his jumps.
His landings were heavy. But here at this Canadian Championships, you've noticed a lightness. Before, he used to really lean forward and collapse on the landing. Here's his quad. He's got to get up in the air, rotate, 2-foot landing. He wasn't quite all the way round. And so he will have more of like a 0.2 deduction, a bigger deduction than what Emmanuel had. The best triple axel I have seen Elvis do in years. Look at the height and the landing position. Good flow out of the landing of that jump. And the energy that he carried throughout this footwork sequence, explosive jumps.
People talk about the World Championships, but often they talk about Elvis, the silver medals. Like Brian Orser, his hero, he has 2 Olympic silver medals. Arguably in 1994, many people felt he won the gold. Alexei Urmanov won. In 1998, he wasn't healthy and gutted out a silver medal. And this season has not been about making it to the podium at Salt Lake City. Having that white moment is what he wants. But I'll tell you what, if he skates the way he's been skating and peaking towards the games, you cannot count him out of the equation.
He just might sneak in there. Elvis talks about a white moment. That means a feeling that like you cannot put a foot wrong, that you can skate and just do everything perfectly. He said he's experienced that at the Canadian Championships and at the Worlds, but never under the intense pressure of an Olympic Games, and that is what he is after.
And that is the biggie.
5-5.
A mark of 5.1.
5-5. 5-6.
He had the bigger deduction, slightly bigger than Emmanuel on the quad. His spins were not quite as fast and didn't have the same positions as Emmanuel. I'm surprised. I think these presentation marks are lower than I would have given him because I liked his energy.
He currently is in second place behind Emmanuel Sandhu. Crowd doesn't like it. Setting it up for the free skate. So Emmanuel's made a quantum leap tonight from being tied for 5th after qualification to becoming the leader. Stojko currently in second. And a couple of skaters left. We'll try to put them in podium contention. Jason Daname, Matthew Bueno to skate, and here's Jason.
Skating to the music fever, and his best jump is coming up first. It's a triple axel. Watch the height he gets on this jump.
Oh my. Jason had his big breakthrough at last year's Nationals in Winnipeg racing.
He did, but he has not been able to build on that performance this year. He started out the season with boot troubles, and it cost him a couple of months of training. Then, when he did get back on the ice, he got shin splints, and so this is his first competition of the season. Jason has severe asthma, and you often see that it affects him at the end of a performance. Slowing down quite a bit here with all the problems he's had with his training. He needs all the mileage he can get so he can have the conditioning to get through a program with energy and speed.
Not bad at all for Jason Deneme. Second in Canada last year. Went to the Four Continents Championship. And one more skater to come. Emmanuel Sandhu is our leader. Short program at the Nationals. Jason Deneme. Very good in Canada PM tonight.
He set out, he went and did what he set out to do. A nice triple axel, but his lack of speed really affected his performance, affected his presentation.
Presentation marks and technical marks about the same range. Jason Deneme, not too bad right now. In third place, Elvis is second, Emmanuel Sandhu. Looks like he will be the leader heading into Saturday's free skate here in Cops. And you talk about white moments and the right moment. Matthew Bueno, final skater tonight, has to be a little awestruck. Was 12th as a junior last year, but is tied for 5th after qualification this week. He's been getting some help from some legendary skaters like Lynn Nightingale working in our truck and Brian Orser.
And has he benefited from their help? What a competition he's had so far. Opening here with a triple loop. Good job. Here's music, introduction. Now the jump he's trying to add to his repertoire. It's a triple axel. Has never landed it in competition. On his footwork, quick twitch muscles like Scotty Hamilton. Footwork sequence into his triple flip. Very difficult entry.
He's never quick.
And he talks as quickly as he skates.
The Nationals, we have some skater from somewhere who rises up and makes a name for himself. And this year it just might be this man, Matthew Bueno, 19-year-old from Ottawa. And now let's go back to Dave Randorf.
Emmanuel Sandhu, you make a big move tonight after a solid short program. How do you feel after this performance?
Great, really focused. I'm really pleased, not necessarily with the performance, but just the way I handled myself mentally before the warm-up, on the warm-up, in between when I got off the warm-up and when I actually stepped on the ice to compete. I was just really focused, and that's a really good step, because now I know really what to do and what it feels like, so I feel like I'm in my groove a little bit more.
So you go into Saturday night as the defending champ, and of course, you know, you get that Olympic thing hanging over your head as well.
Yeah, I mean, I try not to let anything be like a hangover over my head, but I mean, the reality is that it's there, but you know, in my reality, it's just I'm here to skate and do the best that I possibly can, and then the rest of it will just fall into place later. So that's really what I'm thinking about, just being determined, being focused, and doing the best that I possibly can, considering where I'm at right now. So.
Good luck in the free skate, Emmanuel.
Thank you very much.
Well, a few years ago it was Elvis and Kurt. It is now Elvis and Emmanuel, and the torch will be passed after this national championship, and the most likely recipient is Emmanuel Sandhu. We'll see what he has in store on Saturday night. What do you think about Matthew Bueno getting a chance to come to the senior ranks for the first time and compete?
Well, he said that he could never deal with his nerves before, and he said, I used to always get spooked out by the people in the competition. As we watch here, his triple loop combination double toe, and he said, so this year I just said, forget it, you can't compete with the big guns with Elvis Stojko and Emmanuel Sandhu, so don't even worry about it. Then he found himself in the final flight competing against him.
And skating last.
And skating last, and he handled it well. He does not have a triple axel. He's never landed it in competition, and I haven't seen him land it properly in practice. But I like everything about him, in his attitude, his determination.
How much will tonight mean in the long-term development of the skater?
He was talking about moving on and going to university next year. His performance here may change his plans for that. If not, he will leave on a high.
Matthew Bueno falls down the list, but it's always a little tight, he said. Always nice to just be at the national championship. And still ahead, the world champions at the national championships on TSN. Just to correct the standings, folks, though, those dreaded computer glitches, Elvis Stojko did finish second in tonight's short program, but based on the addition of the qualification, he is the leader heading into Saturday's free skate. Emmanuel Sandhu won the short program tonight and moves up considerably. Jason Deneme is third. Fedor Andreev is fourth. Jeffrey Buttle is fifth. Let's go backstage once again. Here's Dave.
With Elvis Stojko. Elvis, let's get your thoughts on your short program tonight.
Well, I'm a little ticked. I could have done the quad combo. Everything else was spot on in the program. I did it perfect in the warm-up, and I'm just ticked that I didn't do it when it counted, and I'm going to go back, figure some things out, line it up, and make sure it's right for the long program.
See, that's the thing. This is not just a farewell for you. This is a competition, right?
It's a very big competition. This is a stepping stone for Olympics, and I've been building all year for this. I'm capable of doing that clean when the chips are ready to put down. It didn't happen. I'm pissed off. So I'm going back, gonna regroup, set up for the long on Saturday, and do what I have to do.
See you on Saturday.
Thank you.
That is as mad as I've seen Elvis Stojko, alongside Debbie Wilkes, getting ready for the pair short program. Before we get ready, I want to show you one of the tickets this week here in Hamilton has my friend and colleague Debbie Wilkes, along with partner Guy Revelle. This was when?
Oh, back in the 60s, it was the latest pair skating move, a real craze.
I was going to tell you,
time.
I don't think we're going to see Jamie Selling and David Pelche try that maneuver tonight.
Oh, let's hope not.
But let's talk about the world champions. Like Elvis, they are not using this event as a springboard or something they can put into cruise control. They are here also to compete and to peak towards Salt Lake City.
Deadly serious. It's a warm-up. They will be skating the Orchid here as opposed to Love Story, which my money is going on as far as the Olympic Games performance is concerned. They have had an amazing year. They've won everything in sight. They've won the Lou Marsh Trophy. They've been named the Team of the Year. Backstage, they are completely loose, having fun. Any kind of mistakes they make in practice, they joke around about. Yet they're taking it very seriously. They know that they must put down a good performance here. I mean, after all, Berezhnaya and Sigurlitsi could be watching. Interestingly enough, they've pulled out of Europeans.
Yeah, they apparently are hurt. But let's talk about the subplot to this. The other two teams that will join Saleh and Pelche in Salt Lake City.
3 teams going to Salt Lake in pairs. There are probably at least 4 teams in the rest of the senior pairs competition that could qualify with a good performance. I think Annabelle Langlois, Patrice Arquetto are probably going to do it for the 2nd spot. The 3rd spot, we'll see.
Yeah, it is wide open right now, and so the pair short program upcoming here in Cobb's Coliseum tonight. And one of the contenders, this team here.
A surprise 3rd place finish behind Jamie and David and Chris and Christy Wirtz, who are sadly missed here as competitors. They are back now as coaches.
Yeah.
So an exciting move for their careers.
And
Annabelle and Patrice really building on the success of their bronze medal finish at last year Canadians. It's amazing what a little success can do.
Well, it's amazing, too, about getting that ticket to the Olympic Games. Let's face it, the other 2 teams that go with Saleh and Pelche will not win a medal in Utah. but it's about the experience. And if you ask any skater, just going to an Olympics is enormously important for what might happen someday.
Oh man, is that ever true? We're not looking just at the Olympic Games or the World Championships this year. We are looking for what Canada holds beyond. This may be the next pair.
Annabelle Langlois, Patrice Arquetto, third at the Nationals a year ago. And a team that seems ripe to join Salé and Pelche. But one thing you have to do, you have to go out and skate it, don't you?
And they're looking for 8 required elements in under 2 minutes and 40 seconds. Solid pro triple southpaw.
Was that?
Man, talk about hot.
Well, one thing about pair skating in Canada right now, everybody has stepped up. That's what happens when you have world champions in your midst. Langlois and Arquetto at the Nationals. Job well done. I don't think in all of the years that we've been broadcasting this event I've ever seen a dog in the kiss and cry area, but hey, what the heck, when you skate as well as that, you can bring anybody in.
You need to meet Crystal, who is the pet of Jose Picard, one of Annabelle and Patrice's coaches. This has been their most difficult element, the side-by-side triple toes. It came off beautifully. No hesitation, complete confidence. They skated the entire program in an unhurried fashion. It had lots of character to the music, confident from beginning to end.
They skated like they are on their way to Salt Lake City. That's the way they skated. And one more to go, and they indeed will be going to Utah and the Winter Olympic Games. What an accomplishment for Langlois and Arquetto. First to skate and very strong marks to watch the rest of the night.
The next competitors representing Central Ontario, Jacinthe Lariviere and Lenny Faustino.
And here is another tandem of those 4 teams we talked about. The math is about 4 teams and only 2 extra places to go to the Winter Olympics. Here is Jacinthe Lariviere and Lenny Faustino. They were 5th at the Nationals a year ago. Jacinthe Lariviere and Lenny Faustino, training out of the Mariposa Club in Barrie, Ontario. Just another one of the fine teams to watch here at the Nationals. We'll be back with their marks tonight on TSN. Position, especially that 3rd position, because Canada will send 3 pairs teams to the Winter Olympics. Salé and Pelche, you know, will be going to Salt Lake City, but the other 2 teams are anybody's guess.
And certainly Jazz and Lenny are one of the teams that have to be considered. They had slight deductions. It was a beautiful skate, but they had slight deductions. A question of whether one of the triple toes was landed on 2 feet. Definitely one of the solo side-by-side spins a bit short.
They did get some first-place ordinals. That tells you how tight it is. Salé and Pelche when we come back to Copps Coliseum in the 2002 Nationals.
Les prochains patrons représentent le Québec. Jamie Salé et David Pelche.
The Dream Team coming off a dream year. Skated to the top of the world. World Pairs champions. And now hoping to kick off 2002, this Olympic year, by winning the Canadian title 3 years running. Jamie Salé, David Pelche.
Breathtaking throw triple loop. Side by sides coming up.
Jamie Salé, David Pelletier. Wasn't perfect tonight. The goal is to be perfect in a month.
0.2 deduction because of the turnout on Jamie's triple toe.
But they are in a league of their own in this competition. Among the best in the world, world champions right now, looking to become Olympic champions in a month. They certainly have lived up to every definition of the term dynamic duo. Jamie Salé, David Pelletier, leaving some room for improvement. What I like best about these two athletes, and I stress athletes, is that a lot of people in their life say, you know, that's good enough. They never say that. They say, well, that's what we have to improve on. They never say, well, that's good enough.
I have seen them during training. They leave no stone unturned. Every detail is analyzed. That's why they can pull off these amazing tricks. The throw triple loop at the beginning of the program, absolutely breathtaking. The only glitch here in the landing of Jamie's triple jump.
And they won't be saying that's good enough.
Oh, no. Oh, no, indeed. Although nicer to do it here than at the Olympic Games. One of their strongest elements, the backward inside death spiral, entered by original, unusual steps, all of which increases the difficulty.
Jamie went to the Olympics in 1994 with partner Jason Turner. Finished 12th that year. A year that Isabelle Brasseur and Lloyd Eisler made it to the podium. A lot of people expected gold from that team at that time. But Salé and Pelletier are definite gold medal contenders.
You often think that the Olympic Games, it's all the same competitors that you're skating against, but the Olympic experience is very unusual. It's unique. Jamie's been trying to tell David what he might expect.
One more skate to come for them tomorrow night. Should win it. Third. Nationals are always a special time. One of my favorite events of the year, not only because it's a lead up to a major competition like the Worlds, or in this case this year the Olympic year, Debbie, and you've been down this road as not only a broadcaster but also as a competitor. But it's a great chance to look ahead to see where some of these skaters and where the skating world in Canada will be in a few years. And you talk about a young team like this team, Chantal Poirier and Ian
The next
Morum.
competitors representing Central Ontario.
They've made some great strides in a short time, coached by Chris Wirtz, who can't get enough of the Nationals, obviously. He retires, he still comes back to the Nationals, this time as a coach.
And he's coaching with his brother Paul, his former coach. The whole school has relocated to Toronto, to the very famous Toronto Cricket, which is now the home training site for Chantal and Ian.
Salé and Pelletier are the leaders with 4 teams to skate here in the final flight. And again, the battle is on for those 2 other spots to the Olympic Games.
In the background, Ian calling out change.
Chantel Poirier, Ian Moore skating at the Nationals. Couple of glitches that they will be penalized for. She's only 16, he's 21. Part of the future of pairs skating in Canada. Their marks when we come back in a moment. Compulsory dances already completed at the Nationals. No surprise, Born in Kratz 1, Dubuc-Lazon 2, and Megan Wing and Aaron Lowe 3. And we'll watch, of course, the dance results. 2 dance teams going to Salt Lake City. Born in Kratz, Dubuc-Lazon. We'll see the dancers this weekend on CTV.
Little sign given to Chantel and Ian by Sean Wirtz, who is Chris Wirtz's nephew. Senior men's skater here, but not competing at Nationals this year due to injury.
It's all good. It was all good. And there's Chris Wirtz. Coach now.
Still involved in skating, he says, but on the other side.
He competed at the Nationals more than any other skater, I think, maybe in the history of Canadian skating, in 5 different disciplines.
Including synchro.
That's unbelievable. And loves this sport. Has such a passion for this sport. That's why he's here. That's why he's still coaching. Still giving back.
And that's what he wants to give to his students at any level, the kind of optimism and joy that he gets from the sport. A little knowledge trapped in there, too.
Very good young team, too, this team.
Remember, this is their first year together. They were surprise competitors at Skate Canada in Saskatoon, filling in at the last minute.
And it helped them a lot. That little things, getting a chance to skate on big ice with great competitors will help your confidence. And they are currently in 4th place.
Thank you.
And on the ice,
competitors represent Central Ontario. Valerie Marcoux and Bruno Marcotte.
A team that was 4th a year ago. 4th this year will not get you to the Winter Olympics. And Valerie Marcoux and Bruno Marcotte want to move up at least 1 spot and earn a trip to Salt Lake City. Great lift, great dismount.
Tricky dismount. Fast helicopter.
Very smooth team. Good tricks, loads of potential. Marcoux and Marcotte at the Nationals 2002 on TSN. Welcome back. Maybe a future star.
Certainly a fan.
Well, very photogenic, I'd say. And this team, great to watch. There's Christy Wirtz, wife of Chris on the left, also coaching. There's Chris's brother Paul, longtime coach on the right, and of course Valerie Marcoux and Bruno Marcotte.
A sensational lift up very quickly. Bruno is an amazing partner. He manages to keep the speed rolling through the lift. Now watch the helicopter here on the very exit. Fast, strong, original. A rather ragged performance, though, in many cases. Some problems with the side-by-side jumps will mean a fairly sizable deduction. Also, loss of synchronization in the side-by-side spins.
And we'll have work to do tomorrow night to try to get up to the podium and earn that ticket. Right now, they are on the bubble, one of the bubble teams. In fourth place, 2 teams to come, 1 team a newcoming team, so you wouldn't expect them to be a contender. The other team certainly a contender, Surratt and Fecteau, who will skate last. And Marcoux and Marcotte, fourth place ordinals across the board.
Elizabeth Putnam and Mark Batka.
Elizabeth Putnam and Mark Batka, new kids on the block.
This is an amazing story. They have only been together a very short time, competing in juniors last year. Not that long ago, about they were doing a training session, and during a lift, Elizabeth's skate got caught in one of the harnesses that is used for jumping. She was lost, fell flat to the ice, had to take 3 weeks off. A horrible, horrible injury.
Both are also singles skaters, and Mark competed earlier tonight in the men's program, where he finished 17th after the short program. So a busy night for Mark Batka. Here they go. What a long day for Mark Batka. Very satisfying end to the night, unless he, of course, is competing in a dance competition later tonight somewhere. 17-year-old Elizabeth Putnam, Mark Batka, who competed with the men earlier tonight, and now the pairs here in Hamilton. Marks in a moment. Elizabeth Putnam, Mark Bacca. There's Luc Bredet on the right, one of the coaches. Luc, of course, was a former Canadian pairs champion, along with partner Marie-Claude Savard-Gagnon in 1997. Good young team.
Very promising. Still doing rather simple elements in comparison to some of the other teams, but they have a beautiful line, a lovely presentation, very warm on the ice.
And Mark, again, a single skater, but that's not unheard of. Many of the people who compete in pairs also compete in singles at a young age. It's one of the ways to develop as a pair skater.
Elizabeth is a single skater as well, competing in junior ladies.
Final team of the night. Valerie Surette, Jean-Sébastien Fecteau. A couple of years ago, this team was dynamite. Finished third 3 years running. Went to the World Championships.
A disaster season for them last year. At the end of the summer of 2000, Val had a stress fracture to her right foot. Put orthotics in her skates to try to help minimize the pressure against the brake. Just did not work. They lost so much training time. Canadians was a big disappointment for them last year. You like the long hair? Jean-Sébastien grew it just for this. Here's the difference, side-by-side triple toes. Oh! They needed that to stay in contention for the Olympic team. Great preparation going into the death spiral with individual back spirals right into the back inside death.
Good way to end off the night. If they can do that tomorrow night, they might be on their way to the Winter Olympic Games. It is very close between teams 2, 3, and 4. We'll see where Valerie Surette and Jean-Sébastien Fecteau end up when we come back. Surette and Fecteau, who went to the Worlds in 1999 in Helsinki, finished 13th, want to get to the Olympic Games alongside coach Richard Gauthier, who of course coached Salé and Pelche to a world title last year.
This is a talented team. They are very strong single skaters, but it wasn't their best performance tonight. I found it problems certainly with the side-by-side triple toes, and even when they got to the side-by-side spins, they lost their momentum. The camels were excellent to begin, but here when we get to the changeover in the sit spin, they lose their synchronous. What is that word? Synchronousness?
Synchronicity? We know what you mean.
Generally, I thought this program was rushed. Something that's difficult to sit with when you're skating it because the music is so pumped up. It's fun to listen, fun to watch, but unless they're spot on, they always have the appearance that they're trying to catch up to the music instead of skating to it.
Retro music for these two, and we'll see what the marks produce, and it'll be a big night here tomorrow night. Again, we remind you to join us. Pairs free skate tomorrow. Saleh and Pelche should win a third title, but then it becomes a very interesting story. Who will join them? And right now, Surrett and Fecteau, the team that has to move up at least one because they are now in fourth. Langlois, Arquetto second. Le Rivier and Faustino are in third.
This is only worth 30% of the total mark. So look for the free skate tomorrow night to determine who will be part of the Olympic team.
And
60%.
Much better, though, than last year when this team was saddled with injury. Jamie and David, the leaders, looking to make it 3 in a row on their way to Salt Lake City in the Winter Olympics. And we'll come back. Very interesting battle set for tomorrow night for teams 2, 3, 4, and 5. Who will go to Salt Lake City along with the team on top, Saleh and Pelche? Biggest non-surprise of the day, this team prohibitive favorites on their way to their third national championship, which should come tomorrow night. And Jamie and David are with our Dave Randorf.
With Jamie and David, guys, here we are a month away from Salt Lake City. So, Jamie, it must be hard not to look past this event towards the Olympics.
Actually, not really. We're really focused on what our job is here, and we're trying to do our best and skate as best we can. And we have 2 great programs we're really happy with right now, and we just want to go have a good time and enjoy the crowd.
Oh, yes, the programs. Okay, so you'll skate Orchid tomorrow night. I understand it's 90% decided you'll skate Love Story in Salt Lake City. What's the determining factor, David, for that remaining 10%?
Well, we just want to give more time to this program. It's brand new, and I think it's worth doing it here and doing it at Worlds. The decision will be up to Jamie and myself, just to see if we close our eyes and look before we skate at the Olympics, what program do we see ourselves in? And, you know, never rush before we take a decision important like this.
All right, well, one thing at a time. We'll see Orchid tomorrow night, guys. Congratulations, and we'll see you Friday.
Thank you.
Thank you, Dave.
Done deal. They're skating Love Story, I guarantee you. I do want to talk, though, about what makes a great champion. And you've seen it in Saleh and Pelche, and you see it also in Elvis Stojko, who said he was, in his words, PO'd. But not by judges' marks, but by himself. He would have been happy with this performance tonight a year ago. But he's not, because he knows he's healthy again, and he wants to be perfect heading into Salt Lake City.
Yeah, he spoke to me and said, this is the first time in 4 years that I haven't felt broken. What a great concept. What an amazing athlete. You're right. Both Elvis and Jamie and David know that there are no shortcuts to winning a medal of any color. They know it requires hard work. It requires multiple run-throughs. They take no shortcuts.
That's what it is to be at the national championships. A great indicator all night tonight, and we'll be back, of course, tomorrow night. Here's Dave Randorf.
Yes, indeed, Rod. We will be back tomorrow night on CTV, where you can zoom in on a couple of events. The pairs free skate and the women's short program will get underway as Jennifer Robinson goes for her 5th Canadian title. Elvis Stojko gets it done despite being upset at himself. He'll skate his free skate Saturday night, and Jamie and David go for another Canadian title tomorrow. See you on CTV tomorrow night. Thanks for watching tonight on TS.
Good evening, Canada. Welcome to the 2002 Bank of Montreal Canadian Figure Skating Championships from Copps Coliseum 1 month before the Winter Olympics. And tonight, one more step along the road, and one woman will represent Canada in Salt Lake City.
Jennifer Robinson.
Will that woman be Jennifer Robinson, 4-time Canadian champion, defending champion? Did not go to the Winter Olympics in 1998. In fact, Canada did not send a representative. Her goal since that time has been to get to the Winter Games. Alongside Tracy Wilson, this is Rod Black. A good Friday evening from the Nationals.
Jennifer's music is street scene, and of all the Canadian ladies, Jennifer has had the best season In her 2 Grand Prix competitions, she had clean short programs. Let's see if she can stay on that roll. Here comes her combination, triple Lutz. Very nice.
Jennifer is one of the leaders. The women have skated qualifiers this week. The short program tonight were 30% of the total mark. The free skate Saturday night.
Key element in the short program, triple jump out of footwork. Jennifer's jump, a triple flip. Slight 2-foot landing on that. Small deduction. Saving her best spin for last. Good speed and center. And a good start for Jennifer Robinson in the ladies short program.
And a good start to tonight's program. Welcome everybody to the 2002 Nationals on CTV.
Welcome to CTV's coverage of the 2002 Bank of Montreal Canadian Figure Skating Championships from the Cops Coliseum here in Hamilton. We are underway. Day 2 of our coverage. Welcome inside the Cops again, everybody. I'm Dave Randolph. Where tonight, Olympic dreams will come true for 4 Canadian athletes. It's the pairs free skate final later this evening with the top 3 teams going on to compete for Canada at the Winter Olympic Games. Now, unless something very unexpected happens, Jamie Salé and David Pelche, the reigning world champs, should win tonight, and they already know they're going to Salt Lake City. So that's where it gets interesting, because then you have 4 other pairs competing for the 2 other spots, and they all know they will need their absolute best tonight. Countless hours of training and practice comes down to about 4.5 minutes this evening. Things are even a little bit tighter in the women's competition, which is now underway, as Canada, as mentioned, will only send 1 lady to Salt Lake City. These are the results after qualifying earlier this week. Jennifer Robinson, you just saw her short program. She led her qualifying group. 4-time Canadian champ, never been to the Olympics. And an interesting story out of Group B, Joannie Rochette, 16 years old from Quebec, her first nationals in the senior ranks. She's on top of her qualifying group, and she'll skate in the final flight this evening. We're underway. Glad you're with us. Now let's take you back up to Rod and Tracy.
Thank you, Dave. This is the first year the qualifying part of the national championships makes it very interesting, and Jennifer Robinson had a very strong start in the short program. Very strong start all week long.
She's made a technical breakthrough with her jumps. This, the triple Lutz, she's moved it away from the boards. She's got more height in her jumps. Let's take a look at the triple flip. It looked to me from my angle that it was a 2-foot landing. Let's take a closer look. She picks in, watch the free leg.
Boy, it's close.
Whoa, that is close. I think the judges will give her the benefit of the doubt.
There has been talk that Jennifer might be thinking about retiring after this season. She told me this morning that those reports are greatly exaggerated. She, in fact, may be skating on. Required elements marks, strong 5.1 to 5.5, and presentation marks are better for the reigning Canadian women's skating champion, looking to go to the Winter Olympic Games. Has long been a dream of hers. One step along the road.
Thank you. Our next competitor.
But there are others
Saskatchewan,
who are also in contention. Second in Canada a year ago, second in her qualifying group this week. Here is Nicole Watt.
Getting into the ice, and she will skate to Sicilian and Harp Concerto. Beautiful position on her layback spin. Quick rotation. Her jumps not as consistent as they have been, but she still is planning a triple-triple combination, triple flip, a double toe for the second jump. Good move. Nicole Watt from Melfort, Saskatchewan. Game on. No one is handing a free ticket to anybody to Salt Lake City. Good start to tonight. Nicole Watt has been the teenage sensation the last couple of years, and the good news for her, her development has been hindered by her affliction with juvenile rheumatoid arthritis. The good news is that disease is in remission for her, so she is healthy coming into this competition. And she has shown us time and time again that she is a competitor. Very difficult when your body's undergoing changes to hold the consistency on your jump. So she was struggling a little bit in practice here, was able to pull it together when it counted. Because she has grown, she's skating with more maturity and more power, and I think she just has to continue with that.
She's had a chance, of course, to skate internationally for Canada. A 9th place showing at Skate Canada, an 11th at Trophée Lalique. Skated at the Pro-Am, the Sears Open recently. Required elements marks low, 4.3 up to 5.1.
Well, at the Canadian Championships, you have skaters that are inexperienced and judges as well. And boy, are these ever interesting marks, a 4.3 and a 5.7.
That judge who gave Nicole 4.3 gives her 5.7 for presentation. Ordinals 2s and 3s. So Nicole Watt right now second behind Jennifer Robinson.
Notre prochaine concurrente du Québec, Nadine Gosselin.
Another one of the contenders we'll watch tonight and tomorrow. Nadine Gosselin beginning the night in technically a tie for 5th place, 3rd in her qualifying group.
Nadine has not competed yet this year because of a pulled hamstring.
Has been 5th in Canada the last 2 years running.
It's a peppy skater, reminds me a little of Elizabeth Manley. Good speed and interesting footwork there. Triple flip. Nadine's combination, triple Lutz double toe. Slight touchdown on her double axel.
Don't know if it was the after effects of the injury or not, but Nadine looked a little tentative tonight here on Cobb's Coliseum ice. We'll see what the judges have to say when we come back to the 2002 Bank of Montreal.
I like Nadine's energy, her speed, a very peppy skater. She got off to a good start with a triple flip. Here's her spiral sequence, and you see that position there. The skaters have to do 3 different positions with their legs in the air. So there was the second. Now watch this third position. Look at that. You can see she is flexible, and she does have a nice spiral. And I think that Nadine could have used longer positions in that to show off her flexibility. She kind of rushed through it at that point.
Interesting to note, the final 4 skaters, including Nadine, all Quebec-based skaters. The next 2 skaters, a couple of junior stars, teenagers we've been watching in the junior ranks the last couple of years. And then finally to skate tonight will be Annie Belmar, one of the veterans, if you can call her that, at 22. She's been around for a while. Again, this is a wide open race. Jennifer Robinson has set the bar high tonight in the short program. And Canada will only send 1 woman to the Winter Olympic Games.
Notre prochaine concurrente du Québec, Marianne Dubuc.
2 years ago, Marianne Dubuc wowed the crowd at the Nationals as a junior, became the junior women's champion. She's 18 years old, technically right now in a tie for third after a second-place showing in her qualifying group.
Always known as a jumper here. Seen some of her artistry to the Music Ballet Gala. After winning the junior championships, Marianne came to this competition last year with huge expectations. She fell apart in the competition, dissolved into tears. And her coach, Manon, has helped her to set realistic expectations. Watch the height she can get on her jumps. Oh, just hung on. Here comes her triple flip. She's fighting. Jump is a double axel. Look at the stretch on that layback spin. Artistry very much improved over last season. Well done, Marianne.
Stayed on her feet. Had to walk the tightrope on a couple of those jumps. A smile nonetheless. Marianne Dubuc, happy with her performance. One of the skaters we've watched over the last couple of years, from the junior ranks to the senior ranks last year. We'll watch her at the Nationals for the next few years, Marianne Dubuc.
Her jumps were not perfect by any means, but Marianne had the presence of mind to hang on, to fight for the landings. I think an area that she has improved, as I mentioned, was her artistry. She can work on her footwork more into the triple combination, make that the triple jump, make that more difficult. And I think also Marianne can work on her spiral sequence.
Mixed bag from the judges. Ordinals from second place all the way to fifth. So sporadic results from the judging panel so far tonight. Marianne Dubuc is currently third, Nicole Watts second, Jennifer Robinson first. And no, this is not
competitor represents Quebec.
Videotape. And you're not seeing double. Talk about having an influence on a young skater. Joannie Rochette will be 16 years old on Sunday. And you can tell just by hairstyle and costume and even skating style, the influence in that stable in Quebec that it has had on Joannie Rochette. One of the leaders after the qualification.
Combination. Oh. 5 triples in the qualifying round. She had a beautiful skate. skating into her triple flip. Very nice. Joannie landed her first triple jump when she was 11 years old. Couldn't do it in competition until she paired with her coach Manon 3 years ago. In her first year with Manon, she landed 3 different triple jumps and has added each year so that she is landing all the triple jumps except for the triple axel. Boy, how she has progressed from novice champion to junior champion, and here skating like she's been in seniors for a number of years.
Fell on her first element, brought it back together, and she is one of the bright lights in Canadian women's skating for our future. So-so, she says. Will be 16 on Sunday. Joannie Rochette, one woman to come. Annie Bellemare in Hamilton's Copps Coliseum. That is Manon Perron on the left, the coach of both Marianne Dubuc and young Joannie Rochette. She didn't get her first jump, but for people who are just watching this young lady tonight, you can tell she's got the stuff.
Yes, she does. She has the package and the perfect blend of athleticism and artistry. Nice triple flip, good height on the jump. She still has to control herself in the jumps. Obviously, a major error here on the combination, and so there will be a big deduction in the first set. But what I liked is the way that Joannie covered the ice. She has a lot of speed. Again, the complete package. She can spin, she can jump.
And it's all about the learning curve and taking this and building on this. She was first in qualification in her group, and she will now tumble into 4th place. Will likely be in 5th place heading into tomorrow's free skate here in Hamilton. A novice champion 2 years ago, a junior champion last year. That's Joannie Rochette. And the last skater, and certainly someone who has probably also visualized wearing Canadian colors at the Winter Olympics, Annie Bellemare. She has been 3rd in Canada the last 2 years, went to the Worlds last year, and she too now could put herself into the pot for the Winter Olympic Games. Needs a strong short program right here, right now.
Soundtrack. And now the combination. Triple Lutz double toe.
Oh, what a Lutz.
Let's see if her triple flip goes as well as the Lutz. most relaxed and expressive I've ever seen her.
Has long been plagued with inconsistency. Very consistent here tonight. What a skate for Annie Belmar. Well, that'll get the blood rushing, won't it? Makes it very interesting now for the judges, too. Annie Belmar, who was second behind Jennifer Robinson in one of the qualifying groups earlier this week, may have outskated Jennifer Robinson here tonight. Very close between these two rivals.
But what's important here for Annie was to lay down a performance like this when it counts. She's been able to do it in practice, never in the competition like this. Look at the height on that triple Lutz. One of the best in the world. Her triple flip also was very high and solid. And here, a big improvement. Look at the expression on her face. Arms soft, graceful. She used to get tight and seize up in competition.
Well, that has long been a problem for a lot of the women skaters in Canada over the years. A discipline that has kind of been the Rodney Dangerfield discipline. Not much respect for a lot of the women's skaters. It's been quite some time, and a lot of the skaters have frozen in the spotlight. And what we've seen here tonight is a real step up for many of the elite skaters in Canada. They did not succumb to nerves here. We'll see what happens tomorrow night.
And these rivalries that are developing, just pushing the skaters to new heights. And look at these marks for Annie Belmar.
Next set of marks, and she is now the leader heading into the free skate. And only by a judge. What a night tomorrow night for the women. Only one woman will go to Salt Lake City. Anybody's guess. Here's Dave.
And I am backstage with a very happy Jennifer Robinson. Tell us how you feel after that short program tonight.
I feel really great, excited that I laid down a great performance, looking forward to the long program, and just onward and upward from here.
Tell us about what kind of pressure is on the skaters this year heading into the Olympics, especially in the ladies category where there's only one spot.
It's a bit of pressure, but it's an extra bit of intrigue for the sport. People want to see, you know, all the women battle it out, and I think it's really exciting. It adds for a lot of extra excitement in the women's event, and I think maybe that's been missing for a little while, so it gives it a bit of an extra kick, which is pretty cool for the audience.
As for your skate tonight, the one question was a 1 foot or a 2 foot, and you said it was definitely 1 on that jump.
Yeah, I'm very honest about that. I always come out and say, yeah, that was on 2 feet, or yes, that was for sure on 1, and yes, that was for sure on 1. It wasn't as solidly landed as the Lutz. That's why I think it came into question for the judges. But for my own confidence and my own thought of mind, I know it was on 1. So it'll be a good confidence boost going into the long.
Good luck tomorrow night in the long program.
Thanks very much.
4 minutes, and who will go to the Winter Olympics? Annie Belmar by 1 judge over Jennifer Robinson. Interesting to note they're the most experienced skaters in the group. They're on top, and then the teenagers behind. Nicole Watt, Marianne Dubuc, Joannie Rochette. It used to be whoever stood up at the end wins. A lot of standing up and a lot of stepping up in Cobb's Coliseum tonight.
Well, the Canadian ladies have certainly moved ahead with the competition here today. As you said before, you'd see whoever was the one who could stand up, they'd win the competition. Now you've got somebody like Nicole Watt who goes out there and lays it down every time. Annie Belmar able to rise to the occasion. Jennifer Robinson continuing her consistent season. And it sets up a fabulous long program. And that's Jennifer Robinson's strength. It has been all year. But the way Annie's been skating, who knows?
Yeah, the sad thing is it's too bad Canada can't send 2 women to the Winter Olympics. Let's join Dave Randorf once again.
With the leader after the short program, Annie Belmar. We've talked about it before, how you're battling that confidence time and again. No battle tonight. You won.
Yeah, it was very good. I handled myself very well. Me and my coach, we worked very hard getting consistent in the jumps. And tonight, it's no big news. I do this every day in practice, but it was very good, and I'm happy I controlled myself.
But it's great for you to be able to bring what you've been doing in practice out onto the ice, because a lot of people always felt you could.
Yeah, well, it's always a good thing. Yeah, I could. It's good to bring them in competition, because that's where it counts. And even if you do them in practice every day, if you don't bring them out here, nobody sees it and you don't have the results with them. But this year we worked a lot on the confidence, and we did more run-throughs, and we worked with the psychologist, and I think everything is showing and everything works very well for tonight.
So finally, with what's at stake heading into tomorrow night, the title and the spot to go to the Olympics, how do you keep an even keel heading into your long?
It's not over yet. I mean, the long counts for 50%. I have to do my job. I have to skate well. I have to skate right. I have to handle myself again. If I do, knows what happens, but still, it's not done. I don't count it as a done deal. I won the short. I'm very happy, but it's not over yet, and I'm sure I have to skate well.
See you tomorrow night, Annie.
Thank you. See you tomorrow night.
Also tomorrow night, the men's free skate, folks. Hit the record button on your VCR. When we come back, we'll visit some retro Elvis, looking ahead and looking back at the Nationals. The pairs free skate to come in a few moments. Tomorrow night, the men's free skate. Elvis Stojko, the leader after the short program. Close behind Emmanuel Sandhu, Jason Denome, Fedor Andreev. Two men will go to the Winter Olympics. Elvis Stojko will be heading to his 4th Winter Olympics. And back in 1988, at this time in the skating season, Kurt Browning and Brian Orser were getting ready to compete in Calgary, and a young Elvis Stojko was at the national championships but was competing as a junior. So we're going to take you back right now while we have some time and join Johnny Esau, Debbie Wilkes, and Brian Pokar. And they called 15-year-old Elvis Stojko taking the junior championship in Victoria, BC.
Elvis Stojko from Richmond Hill, Ontario, from the Toronto Cricket Skating and Curling Club. Elvis is in 4th place. He was 6th in the short program, so we're anxious to see how his free skating will hold up. Good start.
Well, you know, he could make it if he puts in a good performance, does the triples like that triple toe loop. He could go a long way.
As it stands now, we have Stefan Ibar's first, Marcus Christensen is second, Brett Frank is third, and Craig Burns has dropped from 1st to 4th at this point, and he could drop one more.
That was the cleanest one in the junior men's competition.
And the setup for the triple lutz. Oh, nice
one. He's much better skater as a free skater than his 6th place finish in the short program would indicate. Stojko is only 15 years of age, showing a lot of promise.
Watch how he pulls up. The upper part of his body pulls up in the jumps that gives him a position which helps him rotate more quickly.
Open axle. I find his program very busy. The footwork is very good, quick moving and everything, but every time he enters into a jump, everything seems to stop while he concentrates on just that jump, and I think it's a little bit of an interruption. But again, Johnny, you mentioned he is only 15 years old. A lot of the junior men are missing the triple jumps, and it is so important for them to just complete the elements cleanly, and that's what Elvis is doing today.
There it is. 4 minutes and Elvis Stojko.
And this is his last nationals. It's not going to be the same around here. He won, you know, it's funny what moments do to you, Debbie, is he told me that because he was on television that night, and back in his high school, a lot of kids didn't pay attention to him. They were, you know, there was a hockey playing nation. A lot of kids said, oh, you're a skater, and they were bugging him. He came back to his high school at that time, and he was an instant hero, an instant celebrity, and it set him on a path towards 6 Canadian titles, 3 world championships, 2 Olympic silver medals, and has been one of the classiest athletes this country has ever known.
And sat here rinkside with us watching the junior men today and cheered as loudly as anybody. Stories about everybody that was competing, how he hoped they were going to fare, how they were going to skate. Remarkable athlete, an amazing sportsman.
I wonder if he still has that costume around.
It looked like Harry Potter.
That's tomorrow night. Jamie Salé, David Peltier, no question they should win this title hands down. Skates down tonight at the ISU Grand Prix final. The only question was, what will they skate at the Winter Olympic Games? Will it be Love Story, program from a couple of years ago, or this year's program, Orchid? To get a better indication of what they will skate in Salt Lake City, let's join Dave Randorf.
And I'm with the lady that caused this whole dilemma, the choreographer for Jamie and David, creator of both Love Story and the Orchid. First of all, Lori Nickel, are you surprised at all the attention this decision is getting from coast to coast?
Not really. It's been just as much fun and intriguing for us too, and anything that's intriguing is going to catch people's interest.
Now, at the Olympics, I don't need to tell you, you have to put your best foot forward. So as their choreographer, which one is their strength?
Well, both programs are their strength. It really comes down to which one instinctively gives them the right feeling for the Olympic Games. And within 5 seconds of starting Love Story at the Grand Prix final in Kitchener, I kind of nudged Frank Carroll that I was sitting next to and went, they have to do this. And only because of the body language and how you could just see them relax and get down into their knees, which is obviously what they're going to need at the Olympic Games. But I've also seen Orchid performed in practice to the point where it puts me in tears. And, you know, I've been around a while and there's not much that puts me in tears. So I have a lot of faith in that program as well. They've been skating Orchid. They've been skating it very well. We'll see tonight what they do. Our hearts have always been with skating Love Story since April. That was our mindset. But whatever program you have to train next and perform next, you have to train, and your heart has to be in 100% and not be focusing on the other program. So that's what we've tried to do and stay focused for Canadians.
Well, I'm sure whatever decision that you all make will be the right one. Good luck tonight, and good luck a month from now.
Thank you very much.
Must be a nice dilemma, though. Some teams don't even have one program right now getting ready, and they have 2. A school of thought may be that they are going to skate Orchid here, skate Love Story at the Winter Olympic Games, and then Orchid again at the World Championships. Many people feel they are leaning towards Love Story, so we decided to ask you, the fans, and some of the skaters, what program they should skate this season.
I think Jamie and David should use the Orchid program because I thought it was more exciting. I liked the music better, and I thought it was more flowing in their skating program.
I think Jamie and David should use Love Story because I still get the same tingles that I got the first time I saw it, and also Jamie landed everything perfectly.
Well, I actually think it's a hard choice, but I'm going to go with Love Story. I think it's become their signature program. I think the emotions that it invokes in people watching it, you just get caught up in this story, you can identify with it, and I think they have perfected it to a level that nobody else can match. So as long as they skate it well, I think that they're going to win with Love Story.
I really think they should skate to the Orchid program. The judges have seen Love Story. Everybody's seen Love Story. It's a wonderful program. Orchid is also a wonderful program, and they can skate either one. They can skate brilliantly, and they'll win.
I think the Love Story, simply because they have a special relationship on and off the ice, and I think it just comes across very nicely when they're skating, and I think that's just my preferred program.
I think the program they should use is the one they like better. It's, you know, the one they feel like really skate with their heart and all that, you know, all that feeling that they can have on the ice. Now, I think my favorite one is Love Story, but, you know, they're free to use whatever they want.
So, Debbie Wilkes, what do you think?
Oh, I knew you were going to ask me that. I think my personal, emotional favorite is Love Story.
Mm-hmm.
I have to think they have to consider that they're performing it in North America.
It's like a sweater to them.
Yeah,
like a sweater.
Beautiful sweater,
Mm-hmm.
a beautiful sweater. An interesting note, though, even though they lost the first free skate at the Grand Prix final, apparently there was a deduction for Orchid. Take a look. We'll show you why. They had the very closing lift following the death spiral, going up into the Orchid position. David grabs Jamie's leg and actually holds her in the lift. There was a 0.1 deduction for that. One of the reasons why in that particular program they were second to Berejnaya and Sigurd-Ulissi. Believe me, that will have been fixed.
They are stars. You can tell by the cereal boxes that are out now. There they are. They got their own cereal box. They haven't even competed at the Olympics yet. I'm going to try some of this stuff.
Yeah, do you want some milk?
Coliseum, the pairs short program results. No surprise, Saleh and Pelche, the prohibitive favorites here to make it 3 in a row, and then it gets very interesting. Who will join the world champions at the Olympic Games? 2 teams, 2 extra teams will earn their tickets to Salt Lake City tonight. Reservations have already been made for Jamie and David, but who will be flying to Utah with them? And one of the teams we'll watch, Valerie Marcoux, Bruno Marcotte. There is Paul Wirtz along the boards. Chris Wirtz is here as a coach. There's Christy, Chris's wife, also coaching. And one of the reasons why Canada is sending, in fact, the reason Canada is sending 3 teams to the Winter Olympics is because of the results of the Canadians at last year's Worlds, which included the Wirtzes.
That's right. They finished top 10. Because Jamie and David were champions, the magic number is 13. The points earned from the corresponding placements. With those 2 pairs, Canada was allowed to send 3 teams. One of them may be this wonderful team.
They have to make a serious move, though. They begin the night in 5th place.
Strong triple Lutz twist to open. Good jumps, but bad rhythm. Both skaters having different timing when it comes to the setup.
Wow. That is one of the best lifts in the competition.
Usually the lifts demonstrate the skill of the woman in the air. That particular lift demonstrated Bruno's skill for fast turning, much more difficult.
One thread for tonight is the legacy that was left by Isabelle Brasseur and Lloyd Eisler. Many of these skaters that you'll see tonight were somehow taught, coached, or competed against Izzy and Lloyd. And just being around those 2 former champions has made these skaters better.
Inspiration.
Debbie talks about Canada being such a powerhouse in pair skating, but you can look even deeper. The province of Quebec, loaded with talented pairs skaters.
One of the reasons is because Paul Wirtz, one of Canada's preeminent coaches, has been based for many years close to Montreal. Now he's made the move, along with this team, to the Toronto Cricket Club in Toronto. These elements in this program is amazing. There, throw triple Salchow. Less than a minute to go in the program. No fatigue, certainly as far as Valerie is concerned. For the final free skate. This is their last lift. Incredible ice coverage.
Not many teams can throw a lift into a program that late and get away with it.
And make it appear so easy.
So here we go. Final skate towards what many hope will be a trip to the Winter Olympics. Marcoux and Mercotte first to skate at the net. 21-year-old Valerie Marcoux, 27-year-old Bruno Marcotte. The key tonight will be to keep your mistakes to a minimum.
And they did that. The throw at the beginning of the program was magnificent. An indication that Valerie had her legs tonight. She did not waver. Bruno did his job as well, although he had a little trouble with some of the double axels. His most important part was being the base of some of the most incredible lifts in the competition. I sort of describe them. She is like a very spirited, gorgeous racehorse. He is like the debonair Fred Astaire.
We talked earlier about that thread of Izzy and Lloyd, and one thing that Lloyd Eisler also left in the minds of many of the pair skaters, particularly the men, is that you have to be strong.
Strong. You also have to be a darn good skater to be able to manage the difficulty and complexity of lifts with ease, comfort, creating the perfect confidence situation for your partner to be able to perform.
Those are the marks we'll watch. 1 month to go to the Winter Olympics. 3 pairs teams will go from Canada. Battle continues. That maybe this team won't be around next year. If they win at the Olympics and the Worlds, that they might think about turning pro. Lots of speculation about these two. And the biggest talk right now is, can they win gold in Salt Lake City? Here is our final flight tonight.
I'm Annabelle Landlois.
I'm Patrice Arqueto. We represent Quebec.
I'm Jamie Soleil.
I'm David Pelletier.
We're representing the Quebec section.
Tonight, we're skating on Rachmaninoff.
I'm Valerie Serrette.
I'm Jean-Sébastien Pecteau, and we represent Saint Leonard Figure Skating Club of the Quebec section.
And we'll be skating on Secret Garden. I'm Jacinthe Larivière.
I'm Lenny Faustino. We represent CPA Franceville and Mariposa Winter Club.
And tonight for the long program, we will be skating to Romeo and Juliet.
So Jamie and David get their spot for sure. You would think they are that good. Jacinth and Lenny, one of those bubble teams right now, third after the short program. Surrett and Fecteau in fourth. Langlois and Arquetto in second. But this is the free skate. This is where nerves mean everything, and obviously training is paramount.
And as you watch the skaters go through this 6-minute warm-up, when you're out there on the ice, it feels like it will never end. When you're having a bad time, you don't want it to end. You can certainly sense the nervousness out there. Skaters are avoiding eye contact with each other. I have a feeling of jangled nerves.
And Annabelle Langlois, Patrice Arquetto, they were third at the Nationals a year ago, sixth at the Four Continents event, third at the Nationals this year. Gets you a ticket to the Winter Olympics. You have to go back quite some time, maybe a decade, when pairs in Canada was as deep as it is now. This is the deepest discipline of the four. And it's a testament, again, to the legacy left by Brasseur and Eisler and what these two have done, Jamie Salé and David Pelletier.
It's no surprise, is it, that you get depth and great athletes when you have incredible role models. And certainly the titles, particularly the world title, is one that creates a real interest in that particular discipline. Jamie and David are wonderful about sharing their knowledge and experience with young kids. And when you have such amazing role models, everybody wants to be a pair skater.
You go back 10 Olympics. Russia has won every gold medal. Last time that a non-Russian pair won gold, Wagner and Paul, 1960. Might there be some magic in Salt Lake City for these two?
And as a matter of fact, when Bob and Barb won it in 1960, that is the one and only time that Canadian pairs have come away with a gold medal from the Olympic Games.
And so the final flight begins. Annabelle Langlois, Patrice Arquetto. And if they skate clean, know that they could be on their way.
4.5 minutes for the free program for pairs, worth 2/3 of the total mark. They had such tremendous success with this program last year, they decided to keep it for 2002. Two-footed landing on the throw triple Salchow. Big step, risky into side-by-side double axles, which they pull off beautifully.
Breakthrough for this team came early in the season. Skate Canada made it to the podium, a career highlight, and has set them in motion. What a confidence builder it is when you prove that you belong internationally.
sailed down and tended triple Salchows.
Certainly not as strong as their performance at Skate Canada, and it might be the pressure cooker. Annabelle looked a little tight early on a couple of the landings.
It was a raggy skate.
Door may have just opened a little bit for the other contenders. Marks in a moment. Now the hardest part, waiting for the marks and waiting to see what everybody else does.
And knowing you've made mistakes, knowing you've done it cleanly so many times, wanting to go right back out and try it again. The problems began right here. The very first element, throw triple Salchow, landed on 2 feet, but strong enough, both in character and determination, to follow through with good double axels. Side-by-side triple toes were also a little sloppy for Annabelle. Seemed to go up nicely, good rotation, but a very poor flow on the landing. And here on the throw triple toe, it finally falls all apart. Good setup, nice in the air. Tired?
Tight, maybe tight, and it can happen.
A lot of expectations are put on these skaters, not only from the media and the fans, the most of it comes from themselves.
Exactly. And these marks, technical merit marks, they know they have skated it better than that. And a split decision between this team and Marcoux and Marcotte, so they narrowly are in first right now. That is not a good omen with the 3 other teams to come. We have had other teams skate earlier tonight, so now Langlois and Arquetto will wait, an agonizing wait.
The next competitors, representing Central Ontario, Jacinthe Larivière and Lenny Faustino.
So when some teams step out, others can step in. Maybe this team, Jacinthe Larivière and Lenny Faustino, third heading into this performance.
And this is when we get to see who has the courage to grab that Olympic berth. Their hardest element to open, the side-by-side triple toe in sequence with the double toe.
And we've talked about it at so many events, Tracy, or Debbie. And,
that's okay, we're both blonde.
Yeah. The triple jumps are key. And so is this.
Triple twist.
Oh, no.
Settle down. she got her legs to land the throw triple loop. Let's see. Oh, good girl. Got the triple sow.
No one tonight has been clean yet. Makes it very difficult for the judges. Even more difficult for those skaters who have to wait and those yet to skate. Surrett and Fecteau on ice when we come back at the 2002 Nationals. Nervous night in Copps Coliseum. Anxiety and tension in the building with those teams that have to earn Olympic berths, and no one's really responding.
Jazz and Lenny did a beautiful job off the top. The side-by-side triple toes, excellent. But here, Jazz had some problems with the double axel. I think her timing got cluttered. She couldn't find enough height to get the rotation completed. On the throw triple loop, fast going in, taking their time, finding balance. Beautiful landing, clean. What I loved about this team was, yep, there were some mistakes, some of them serious, but they didn't let it affect the mood and character of the program.
And that's reflected in the marks. And for technical merit, these marks will elevate them into first place, and with 2 teams to go, guaranteed at least third place, which means a guaranteed spot to the Winter Olympic Games for Lariviere and Faustino. And it looks like it's the kind of night the team that makes the least amount of mistakes will get a spot.
We've been told by Skate Canada that it will be the top 3 teams finishing here who will go to Salt Lake.
No committees or anything after, or a qualifier at 4 continents.
Not that we have been told about.
And now they have learned that they are in the lead.
5-5.
And an Olympic dream realized.
Lenny's losing it.
Thank you.
Langlois and Arquetto fall to 2nd place. And now they must watch this team on the ice. Surratt and Becteau